I moved away from the tiny world that had been my childhood 6 years ago to a big city. Through the wall next to my bed, I could hear my neighbor watch TV, shower, talk on the phone. I only really saw her once, like an awkward encounter on the stairs. Not really sure when or why. After all, I was going outside and talking to people, but I started to feel very lonely, disconnected from myself and, physically close to a million of strangers with no way to connect in meaningfully. Busy every day, like everyone. You put your head down, keep walking. An awkward smile when you accidentally meet someone's eyes. You'll never see them again, though. I guess I kept it to myself. Skype my parents once every few weeks, tried to catch old friends online and chat a bit. But my really good internet connection wasn't enough to reduce the feeling of social isolation. I just felt lonely. For a really long time. But so do many other strangers. In their own bubbles.
In 2017, the UK recognised pervasive loneliness as a public health crisis. In January 2018, they became the first country to appoint a minister for loneliness. The US government spends almost $7 billion on loneliness-related healthcare expenses per year. Loneliness is almost as prevalent as obesity. Over 150 million young people in China grew up as the loneliest generation after the one-child policy was abolished. The loneliness economy was born. Loneliness affects all age groups. 75 million are socially isolated. Around 30 million European adults frequently feel lonely. More than 75 million 28% of 1 in 5 said they feel lonely or socially isolated. 25 to 60% increase in people living alone. In Japan, lonely deaths are a common phenomenon, where a corpse can go undiscovered for weeks or even months. Loneliness can be contagious. The more isolated people are, the less happy they are, and brain function declines as well as physical health.
Loneliness has become a pandemic. It does not discriminate on age or gender or borders. It happens all over the world, and it happens most frequently to those of us who are already vulnerable. And the debate around the impact of technology on loneliness is growing. Some argue that the use of technology is replacing human contact.
LEQ is the active aging companion. Her goal is to help older adults keep more connected and engaged. As I'm sure you know, the older population is aging all around us. Many suffer from loneliness and social isolation. The whole purpose of LEQ, and it's maybe a little counterintuitive, is we use the latest technology that's out there to overcome gaps created by the digital divide of other technology that's in the wild today.
She's not meant to just be useful. She's meant to be a companion.
Why don't you take a break and have a drink?
And that's why she has a head that can nod and make other subtle gestures you might expect from a pet.
We want to convey as many social signals as possible when you're communicating at a distance, so it's human-human communication, but mediated by technology. And of course you have voice, if you call each other, you have vision, and if you use Skype or FaceTime or whatever. But so far, touch is merely neglected. All those social touch aspects are really important in bonding, feeling comfortable, in comforting somebody that is really under stress. You might have heard of a paro. developed in Japan. It's a seal. It's really a furry pet kind of device that has some responses to touch, so it can move a bit and it feels very nice. Elderly people really developed a bond. It sounds weird, but it's not at all. It's like we have a bond to our pet animals.
Almost on a daily basis, we see that somebody tells her that they love her. They'll also tell her, I'm depressed, or I'm lonely. They'll open up to her in a way that they might not necessarily open up to a human because they don't feel like they'll be judged.
What is it like to place human connection when we desperately need it? People who can't be with their loved ones when they pass away.
Hello, my friend. I am the end-of-life care robot. You are not alone. We hope you will have a pleasant afterlife. Goodbye, my friend.
I don't want to claim that you can solve loneliness just by adding more technology to an elderly home. And it can never, of course, be a replacement of real human-human communication and human-human touch. But it can help like a pet animal can help. At least to make elderly people feel more comfortable at home and experience loneliness or less feelings of loneliness.
The single strongest predictor for loneliness is not your age. It is whether or not you're in a relationship.
やっぱりこう一人暮らし、一人でいる時でも好きな相手がこう近くにいてくれるとやっぱり嬉しいんじゃないかなと。もう人間以上にもう本当にバーチャルパートナーだけでもこう満足できるようなところまで追求した方が面白いと思ってます。まずはこの朝起こしてくれること。で帰ってきたらお帰りと言って出迎えてくれて、で夜、遅くなるともう、寝ましょうと言ってお休みと言って、くれますと。でもああいう本当にまさに恋愛に行く可能性も確かに突き詰めるとあるんだろうなっていうのは思いますね。
お腹すいたね。
野菜ジュースが飲み
すごい。何ケーキが好きですか？
いや、そんな長くなっちゃうと思う。
ダンスが得意なんだ。
話流されちゃった。
Japanese women can also have virtual boyfriends. Tokyo-listed company Voltage created a Pokemon Go-like augmented reality game, allowing users to take their virtual lovers anywhere.
So developing a purely autonomous or virtual entity, which can have very strong effects. You can bond very quickly and strongly, even to a virtual entity, and it can really become part of your social experience, so to say. To some extent, it's a good thing, and if people like it and want it, who am I to say you shouldn't? I really see added value, but not as a replacement of real human connectedness and social interaction. This technology might also facilitate the fact that people are drifting away from society and getting outside of society, and that is really the flip side of the same coin.
We as humans are fundamentally built to be a part of a group. We're fundamentally built to depend on others and to have others depending on us. So please, call the friend that I know that you all have.
One very exciting project we're working on right now that really is about developing technology that enable people to be anywhere on the world. And that's why it's called Avatar. One of the main points of one of the main goals is really to create social connectedness. You really have let's say, a digital copy of yourself or a embodied copy of yourself at a remote location. So we always want it to be human controlled because it's built for social interaction and not, just being another autonomous robot driving or walking or crawling around an elderly home.
So if we share the same body, we share the same point of view, then this probably will enhance the quality of communication.
And it's not up to me as a scientist to say where the balance exactly is. And that will change over time, but it is something we should not ignore. So we should also contribute to the societal debate that is going on technology like this, and societal and ethical consequences of the technology we develop that should be part of our design philosophy. And I really believe that a user and technology can add up to more than the individual parts. The humans should benefit from technology, but technology should also be able to learn and develop itself and improve itself based on the use and the interaction with the end user. And if you keep that in mind, we will develop technology that is not only useful but also beneficial.
This is for all the lonely people, thinking that life has passed them by. Don't give up until you drink from the silver cup and ride that highway in the sky. This is for all the single people, thinking that love has left them dry. Don't give up until you drink from the silver cup. You never know